글렌뷰의 맛집 시로이 스시.
With our international,
a better place when the United States.
The lack of tax benefits and employment
arrangement for the low-income families and those with
to growing our economy.
Hear about our issues. So in the
단합된 분위기가 조성되지 않.
Why you say we can have some.
Having a town hall meeting is an opportunity to hear firsthand the important issues, to have a chance to understand the priorities, the concerns, the hopes. Today was wonderful because it was across generations. We had grandmothers and grandchildren, people in school, high school students asking extraordinary questions, really insightful, thoughtful questions, and the adults asking good questions as well.
먼저 우리 10지구가 코리안 아메리칸이 제일 많이 사는 지역인데 지역구 그 하원 의원을 모시고 또 처음으로 우리 시카고 동포사회에서 코리안 아메리칸 타운홀 미팅을 이렇게 개최해서 우리 또 젊은 2세들도 그런 익스피리언스도 갖고 또 우리 1세들도 이런 데 한 번도 못 해봤는데 여기서 이제 당신들이 하고 싶은 얘기를 한 번씩 해볼 수 있고 또 지금 워싱턴 정가가 어떻게 돌아가나 이런 얘기도 들을 수 있는 기회이기 때문에 아주 좋은 기회라고 생각하고 이번을 계기로 해서 10지구뿐만 아니라 다른 지구 의원들도 더 많이 모시고 그 코리안 아메리칸하고 또 코리안 아메리칸뿐만 아니라 우리가 여기서 살아가는 사람들의 필요한 거를 주장할 수 있는 그러한 커뮤니티로 다시 났으면 하는 마음입니다.
Important thing, my Korean, 안녕하세요. And KA보이스, which has lifted up the Korean community within the political sphere. It's through all of these activities that the Korean community comes together, but our community at large comes together. So I want to say thank you, and it'll be my chance to use my second word, which is 감사합니다. Did I get that right? So I said I'm passionate about the next generation because each generation should be judged on how they take care of those who come after us. And to be honest, how we take care of those who came before us. But it's the young generation that inspires me. Fight to preserve health care has been consuming for so many people. My position, very briefly, is that I believe all of us should have quality, affordable health care with doctors we trust in the communities in which we live. And we've seen efforts. The Affordable Care Act was a step forward. It's not perfect. It needs work. But I think repealing the Affordable Care Act would be a step in the wrong direction. I believe to my core that the world is a better place when the United States is actively engaged around the world, where we're leading based on our values, based on the principles that all people should have their voice heard and the opportunity to govern themselves, promoting democracy, working with our allies to keep people safe, when possible, working with those we consider adversaries, but when necessary, also standing up to them. But I'm very excited to go and have the opportunity to meet with important leaders in Korea, to see the culture firsthand, to see the challenges we face firsthand, and then to come back to the United States. We get back at the end of August, immediately after the day after Labor Day, we go back to Washington, back into session. And I think Congress is going to be addressing the issue of North Korea immediately upon our return. And I'll have the opportunity, because of this visit, to be in a better position to speak to the issue firsthand. So this is very important to me, so I'm very honored to go. It's absolutely necessary that we find a peaceful resolution to the conflict with North Korea, that we bring this to a resolution so we have peace on the Korean Peninsula for all people. We have to take the threats very seriously, but I also believe we have to measure our words very carefully. The United States can't afford to back down, but we need to recognize that in the South Koreans, we have one of our most important allies. And I do believe if we work with South Korea, with Japan, with China, with Russia, I do believe there is the opportunity and the necessity to find a peaceful resolution to address the challenge we have with North Korea. It's estimated that if we could pass immigration reform, in the first decades after that, we will add up to $2 trillion to our economy. But more importantly, it's the right thing to do to continue to unite families, to give people the opportunity to come to the United States and pursue the American dream. And so this is something that I'm committed to working on day in and day out.
Increase your support into the Korean ballot to be created.
And so we need to work to get that ballot, and I commend especially the young people working so hard to do that. But in the meantime, let's work to get those numbers up as well.
Can you issue a statement regarding a peaceful and diplomatic solution to this issue?
We need to use our words carefully. We need to work to have a peaceful solution on the Korean Peninsula. We need to work to find a path to peace for the Koreans that isn't just at this moment, but is for the long term. To apply sanctions pressure on North Korea that would effectively, if these sanctions are put in place, effectively eliminate 1/3 of Korea's export capacity. They're currently exporting about $3 billion now. This would eliminate $1 billion of that $3 billion. On a country that's already struggling, that's a big deal. These were people who are hateful, they are bigoted, they are racist, and they have a worldview that is completely opposite to everything I believe makes this country great, to borrow a phrase from the president. And what they did is not part of the American fabric, has no place in our civil discourse, and everyone of conscience, of faith, of principle should speak out against this. There is no moral equivalency between those two protests. And so I think there was a failure of leadership by the president initially on this. Having said that, I will commend the president today for finally, he was late, but at least he came out with those words. But I will judge the president by his actions as a follow-up to those words. It's not enough just to say it, you have to live it. Is stabilizing the markets by making sure that the government's committed obligation to pay these what are called cost sharing reduction payments are met. Now, there's a question, is it an automatic payment or is it an appropriation? That's a debate that we'll have next month, but creating broad bipartisan support for making those payments will give some stability to the marketplace, confidence to the insurance companies, so that hopefully rather than pulling out, we'll have the opportunity to bring more insurance companies into the market.
What do you see the future of this bill?
I do believe that we will eventually get to the place, as I said earlier, where we will have comprehensive immigration reform. And we'll get back on the right track of opening our arms to those who want to pursue the American dream and provide their kids a better future, grow our economy and strengthen our communities. And that's what I'm committed to do.